It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Folks, welcome to the Max Sports. I'm here tonight with my trusty sports cohort, Max Arredondo. We got Brother Bob working on the cameras with our amazing intern, Cameron. Bob, give this guy a full scholarship wherever he wants to go.
Since I'm charging $0 in tuition, you have a full scholarship.
Full scholarship.
All right, kid, you owe me one. Well, Max, we're kind of scatter shooting tonight. We don't have any structure. Some things kind of fell into place late, though. So I guess it kind of themes with what's going on in sports right now. There's not a lot of structure. It just seems like a lot of wild things are happening, be it college football, be it pro football, be it baseball. So we're going to kind of scatter shoot tonight. I'm going to throw a few things at you.
All right.
We'll toss them around, see what you think.
Sounds good.
Any thoughts on the second week of football that you saw?
Second week, oh my. First week was pretty interesting. The second week, I think this is the week where a couple of teams that are like for real are going to step up a little bit, and a couple of surprising teams that we think that, or we thought that they were going to do really, really well this year are going to kind of step back. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited about this week.
Yeah, it was a wild week. I mean, you had the Baltimore game, which was as crazy as I get.
Yes.
The Cowboy game, that was entertaining. The Texans, you know, they shocked the world.
Yes.
The Bengals game, that one flip-flopped, and, you know, one team snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a crazy week in football. Thoughts on someone who hasn't gotten a phone call? I was thinking about this the other day. You know, Washington's quarterback went down, Fitzpatrick. And guess who hasn't gotten a phone call yet?
Yeah, Cam Newton. And, you know what, in the beginning when I heard that, and that's a good point you bring up, I thought about that for a little bit because, you know, the ex-coach of Cam Newton is coaching, you know, the Washington football team. But it's kind of interesting that he's still sitting out there and the coach hasn't reached out to him. Kind of tells me a little bit about Cam. Maybe he's not as a person that can put in all the study and the hard work that he's supposed to. That's why he's still out there. So, you know what? I think that Rivera's doing a great job. I think he just needs to leave it alone. He's got a good quarterback as a backup. I think Washington, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and I almost laugh at those that are kind of expecting Rivera to pick up the phone and call Cam.
Yeah.
He had a chance at him last year.
Yeah.
They didn't have a quarterback last year.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't call last year. So there's something in that relationship or his evaluation of his talent.
Something's broken in the relationship. Cam went out and did a podcast the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I heard about that.
Wearing an outrageous outfit. Doesn't seem too contrite. Still seems kind of, he still seems like Cam. And when you have a Rivera as a coach and then you have a Belichick, you know, you can get blackballed in the league pretty quick. There's some people that come to mind. I mean, to me, Belichick is the Popovich of the NBA. You remember when Popovich?
Oh, yeah.
Who is the coach that he
Popovich, what, you talking about Jackson?
No, I'm talking about the coach that Popovich, Bob Hill.
Oh, Bob Hill, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you put the word on the street and Bob Hill never coached again.
Yeah, and talk about that Patriot front office, who looks like geniuses now. I mean, they laid on Mac Jones. They had a chance to trade up for him. The story that I heard this past week was the 49ers were kind of looking to let the Patriots trade up and trying to bamboozle the Patriots and go, you need to take Mac Jones at 3. And they knew who they were taking. I don't think they were ever going to be taking Mac Jones. And the Patriots just like, if he falls back, he falls back. Yeah. And who looks like a genius now? Yeah, the man that I hate. One of the men that I hate. Yeah, I don't particularly like Bill Belichick as a coach. But.
Yeah, but you gotta love their organization and the structure. We haven't seen the score, guys. Full disclosure, the game's going on right now. That's the Giants and the Redskins. Any predictions on the score?
Well, right now or at the end of the game?
Right now.
Well, I know the Giants are winning 7-0.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, Cameron told me.
Are they?
He's earning a scholarship.
You had me fooled for a minute.
It's 7-0.
Oh, is it 7-0?
Yeah.
Well, before you gave me the points.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's
not?
6-0.
So what did they do? Miss a field goal?
We're taking that scholarship
Oh,
back.
it just went up.
And he get the scholarship back.
Well, of course, I predicted it would be a low-scoring game, which it probably isn't now since they just scored. But I did have the Giants covering. I like Jones, the quarterback. They went up against arguably the toughest defense last week in the Broncos.
Yeah.
And they held their own. I mean, they didn't play great, but when you're going up in Mile High and playing a team like the Broncos with their defense, Washington's got a good defense. I think that was a test for them. I think they got some relief tonight, and I think they will beat the Redskins. And the Redskins are going without Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're out. Yeah, Fitzpatrick is out for the rest of the season. Humorously or ironically enough, he's an old quarterback and he's gone out with a hip injury.
Yeah.
His hip went out.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of walk around the NFC East real quick.
Okay.
I mean, right now, my team that's looking the team that's looking the best, probably the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles have they did really well the first week, and the defense looked good. Part of the Eagles' problem last year was their injuries, and now they have everyone back, and especially the offensive line. And one thing that they did last week was they dominated the offensive line, dominated the defensive line. And correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, but that's how you win, right, in the NFL?
That is how you win.
Yeah, so the Eagles are doing well.
Yeah, they're doing well. Dallas, has got some issues on offensive line. They lost one of their offensive tackles, I guess, to some substance abuse test that he didn't pass.
Michael.
Your boy, Tank.
Yeah, he broke his foot. Yeah.
You got Gallup out. So a thin team with injuries is kind of scary, but we did predict that the team that would win the division would only win 9 games. We had Dallas both winning at 9-8.
Yeah.
So it's kind of shaping up to be a interesting year.
And if I remember last week correctly, Max had the Cowboys only losing by 3. It was 34-31.
Yeah.
So pretty darn close to what the final score was.
If they had a kicker, we probably would have won the game.
Well, Max, I got beat on pretty much every bet I made. You won all yours. So I brought this for dinner tonight.
Is that crow?
I'm eating crow. This is why I don't bet football anymore.
And he brought 2, one for me because the Cowboys impressed me.
I got tired of losing money and eating crow, so I quit gambling on football. So, speaking of eating crow again, let's talk a little bit of college football.
All right.
First, were you surprised that USC, after the second week coming in as a ranked team, dropped their coach so quickly?
I am a little surprised. That's something that, especially right now with college, you'd like to kind of give that coach a full year to do that. It was kind of surprising. The only thing that tells me is that behind the scenes, USC's probably reached out to somebody, but they haven't made it official or they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is that person still in the contract? I hope that's the reason, because if it's not, and they did that with 2 games, not even 2 games into the season, that's not the way you run a program.
I agree. It's college out there on the college landscape that I can think of that just have that wow factor, that big name moxie, that's going to bring something to the program.
Well, there is one, but he's not coaching. He's actually on television, is Bob Stoops, because, with the, what's that, XFL or something that was supposed to be coming out and then COVID hit, whatever,
yeah.
Bob Stoops signed up for that. So that tells me he still wants to coach. Yeah. So, you know what? Honestly, if USC hasn't reached out to Bob Stoops, they might want to call him.
Yeah. I have a surprise contender, but I'll get to that in a minute. What about this Urban Meyer conversation? Well, seems like his name's getting thrown out now every time.
Well, let's do this. Can we talk about Urban Meyer and USC 3 weeks from now? Because if they go 0-4, yeah. Jacksonville goes 0-4, I think they're going to be calling Urban Meyer. Yeah.
And he'll probably accept.
Yes.
One of the things about Urban Meyer, he reminds me of Nick Saban. He'll lie to your face, and the next thing you know, he's off with another team. So I don't think Texas has ever forgiven Saban, have they?
No, they haven't. So.
Well, let's see. Let's go about 4 weeks longer. Who has more wins, USC or Jacksonville?
Yeah.
True.
It's probably going to be USC.
I'll go with USC.
Yeah, we'll do that. Good point.
Despite themselves. My surprise USC coach may be an old Ohio alum, Luke Fickell.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't aware of this. Yeah, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but maybe Bob can fact check me. I heard it through a source, which isn't always reliable, that when he picked up the Cincinnati job, the AD that's now at USC was the AD at Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. There's a good relationship there, close relationship, yeah.
But again, do you go with a Luke Fickell, kind of that up-and-coming talent that we've seen fizzle out so many times, like the Tom Hermans, like some the strong Charlie Strongs? Do we go with that young talent and see it fizzle out, or do we go with a sexy name? That's the decision that USC is going to have to make.
I think USC just kind of listened to a couple of alums out there. Keyshawn Johnson was talking about the other day. This is something that they're going to swing for the fences. They can't miss.
Yeah.
So, Bob Stoops.
Yeah. Okay. I could easily see that happening.
Okay.
Well, let's go on to picks for next week.
For next week. Okay.
Me, clear my throat here.
Let me do. Let's see. Picks for next week. Well, can we do play of the week last week first?
Yeah, you had mentioned the play of the week. I don't think we have it on video, but.
Okay. The play of the week for last week, we're going to have to go with Jacksonville State upsetting Florida. And that was a big deal. Florida State, not Florida, but Florida State. And Florida State is in trouble right now. So they need to make some significant improvements this week. And in the upset of the week for college, we called it here, Oregon versus Ohio State. And then in the NFL, we have the upset of the week was New Orleans beating Green Bay.
Yeah, that OSU game, that broke my heart. But again, you never bet a team you have an emotional attachment with. I learned that a long time ago. I think I was as surprised as anybody that they lost the way they did. We knew they had some defensive issues coming out of that Minnesota game, but then to come at home with a crowd of 100,000 strong, give up 35 to Oregon, not good. Buckeye Nation's not happy. The coach has already promised that there's going to be changes. We'll see what those changes are. But that was definitely a big upset. Mine in the NFL last week, and then maybe I'll go on to who we like this week. I told you that I liked Jameis Winston to be the comeback player of the year. Mm-hmm. And boy, does he sure up to a good start. He torched Green Bay. And Green Bay did not look like a division-winning team.
What did he have, 5 touchdowns?
He had a lot. I'm not sure the exact total.
I think it was
it was 5 on – it was about 170, 180 yards.
Wow, that's good. Well, it's impressive. He didn't throw an interception, did he?
I don't think so, but
good for him.
Season's still young for Jameis Winston.
He threw a few less than Aaron Rodgers did in that game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was weird. Some of those picks that Rodgers threw, that one deep ball – was he throwing to the defender?
Man, if you play that in slow-mo, it looks like he was throwing it to the defender.
Well, you know what I've always said, an unhappy employee may translate into an unproductive employee. So yep. I don't think he's happy there. I think no matter what, this will be his last year there.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. He's looking for somewhere else to end his career.
Do you look to trade him?
I mean, with Aaron Rodgers, it's hard if he's going to be able to cooperate and say, yeah, go ahead and trade me for most picks. I don't think he wants Green Bay to be successful.
How old is Rodgers? How old is he?
30-something. I think he's like 34 or something like that.
5, I thought.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Do you trade Rodgers and maybe a third-rounder to Pittsburgh for Ben?
That's good.
He's 37 years old.
37?
And partnered with Shailene Woodley.
Yes.
So
he's probably want to go out to the California.
Yeah, I always formulate trades in my mind, and I'm like, would you pull the trigger on that if you're Pittsburgh, if you're Green Bay?
If I was Pittsburgh, yeah, I'd do that. Yeah. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I think that's what everybody said. So let's go on to maybe some upsets, or who we like as upsets. I like Cleveland to cover against Houston. I know Houston's probably getting some some adulation now because they scored so many points against a very bad Jacksonville team. So I do like them to.
I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to do high school, one college, and one NFL. High school, we're going to go with Wagner at Smith and Valley, and Smith and Valley is going to win that one. Sorry, Dwight.
In case you folks don't know out there, because we reach a lot of people from different places, we're from San Antonio. So when we talk about the high school, we're talking about the local San Antonio area. So this is 2 weeks in a row you've picked Smith and Valley.
But not next week.
We'll see. Begin to wonder about this love affair you have with these guys. Yeah, they're good. They're always a solid team. And one of their guys played for the Cincinnati Reds, Jason LaRue. So I like Smith and Valley just for that. Speaking of which, actually my college, and then we'll talk a little baseball, but my college upset could be, it's possible. They play tough against Oregon, who beat Ohio State. Turnovers did them in, though. But I could see Fresno possibly beating the recently ranked UCLA Bruins. So that's my college upsetter.
That's a good one. I mean, remember, most improvement happens from first week to the second week? Yeah. So that's what we talked about earlier. A lot of changes are going to happen. So you could be right on that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we'll wrap this up with a little baseball talk.
Okay.
We didn't write anything down, so it's a little unstructured. But I think next week or the week after, we'll kind of unveil our picks. We had a show a couple weeks back where we picked our wild cards, and my Reds are doing their very best to break my heart again. They were leading the wild card race by 2 games against the Padres in St. Louis, and at this point, they may be back behind both of them right now. St. Louis, when you look at them on paper, man, they're a talented team. They got a lot of veterans from top to bottom. So St. Louis could sneak in the wild card right now. I hope my Reds do, but they're just laying an egg. When they need hitting, they get pitching. When they need pitching, they get hitting, but they can't get it all at once. So it's a little disappointing. And then I know you're Tampa Bay. Well, I had picked the Yankees to actually overtake Tampa Bay, but man, they and right when I said that, they went on that big winning streak and then proceeded to lose like 11-13, which
Yankees went on 14-game winning streak, and then Tampa goes on an 8-game winning streak, and I mean, you have to have the other team lose, so to make it work. But it looks like Tampa's going to run away with that one. Yeah.
Well, guys are always giving us a hard time about having some kind of backdrop. We definitely have 2 teams that will be at some point playing in the playoffs, Oakland and Astros, and who knows, we could see them in a divisional playoff or potentially, I guess in that division, they couldn't play each other in the World Series. Potentially they couldn't, right?
No, not the World Series can be a national
But they could play each other possibly in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not to anger the local Astros fans, we had the Astros jersey up there. We just forgot the trash cans.
Wow, the Astros, the Cowboys.
I know, Bob.
Who does this guy like that?
I don't know, man.
I'm a Mets fan, and we had an absolutely horrendous season.
Well, yeah, after you got Javi Baez, it all went to hell. But anyway. Well, guys, there is one thing I want to offer you out there. We got 61 subscribers as of right now. If anyone patiently listened to the entire show, this is what I'm going to do for you. We got our To The Max hats. If I can get 5 subscribers and 5 likes, and then you comment with your name, we'll reach back out to you, and you're going to get a hat tonight. The first 5, by the time our next show starts, if you hit the subscribe button, if you hit the like button, and then leave a note with Brother Bob, a comment, we'll go ahead and get you out a hat. Anything else to add tonight?
No, I'm excited for the playoffs for baseball. Basketball starts in a couple of weeks. Football is full blown and greatest time of the year.
Well, let's go have a beer and watch this game tonight.
Let's do it.
All right. Have a great evening, folks.
Thank you.